On December 16, 2012, Rachel Steil stopped running in silence. It was a day where she talked about how she was dealing with anorexia as an NAIA All-American cross-country and track runner. By opening up, she's noticing others are sharing their eating disorder experiences, and Rachel found out how many athletes are dealing with these issues alone. She's here today along with Christy Buck with Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan. Thank you, ladies, for being here with us.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, you were very honest in your book, Running in Silence, that's what it's called. Talk about what you went through, how it impacted your sport, and how it affected you.
Yeah, well, I had always had some body image issues. Growing up, I think it's sort of natural, not that you want that to happen, but I actually started engaging in calorie restriction my senior year in high school, and that transition from high school to college, which is kind of common, it's a big change in your life. That's when my eating disorder really ramped up. And when I lost a little bit of weight, I connected that weight loss with running faster. And I'd been running since I was 5 years old. So this sport meant everything to me. And I thought, oh, this is the key. When really, about a year into my college experience, I started getting a lot of injuries. I was thinking that my appetite was broken, that I had to eat differently from everyone else, and that there was something wrong with me, but I was too scared to share what was actually happening because I thought it was just this weird obsession with food, and I'm an athlete. Why would an athlete be struggling? This should be simple. You exercise and your weight is fine, but for me, it really began to be an internal struggle. And so I covered it with different diets that I was going through, thinking that that would fix it, cutting out different food groups, and eventually I found myself starting to binge eat, and that just really ramped up all of the struggles that I'd been having with food, and I felt very ashamed.
Talk more about when you stopped running in silence. Describe what that means.
Yeah, I was running in silence for all those years leading up to the point where I told my mom what was going on, and I was even scared to tell her, so I wrote out an email because I do a lot of the written word, and finally told her what was happening. And about a year after that is when I shared what I'd been going through on the runninginsilence.org website. And it was through a blog post, just sharing with everyone what eating disorders can look like. It's not always someone who's not eating at all. You know, I was cycling between restriction and binge eating, and I wanted to connect with other athletes who were going through something similar.
Yeah, what happened after you shared your story and others were hearing it?
Yeah, so many other people reached out, and I felt so much less alone. I was still kind of scared, but I gained a little bit more courage, and I just found a wider community. I realized there's a whole section of athletes who struggle with eating disorders. Athletes are 2 to 3 times more likely to struggle. So a lot of this was kind of surprising to me at first, but it was also very validating.
Christy, what are you seeing when it comes to eating disorders?
Well, all mental health disorders right now are on the rise in general, and we have a lot going on with anxiety in general, and oftentimes that can co-occur with each other. Eating disorders with anxiety, you'll often see that. And just like Rachel was saying, right now there is a high rate of athletes struggling. And we know that in individualized sports, also, kids are more at risk because they are competing on their own. They're by themselves. They might be on a team, but they are playing individuals. So that would be running, cross-country running. It could be tennis and golf. Wrestling, boys in particular, can struggle with eating disorders and mental health disorders. And that's oftentimes where people don't want to see that that is in the category of mental illness. It is. And so that's part of the stigma that goes along with all mental illnesses, is people like to box them in different categories.
So you would say this is a topic that's not really understood or talked about a lot?
No, and it is so serious. And it's not only that, it's your body. I mean, and that's what's really scary. And Rachel knows this. People can die.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is where it is so serious. You know, you look at stories from years ago, Karen Carpenter. No one talked about eating disorders when she passed away. And her death brought a lot of attention to this, but we need Rachels of the world to go out and keep telling their stories.
Yeah, and Rachel, real quickly, share about your nonprofit that you have.
Yeah, so I started first writing about my story through the blog. I wrote the book Running in Silence, and then from there I realized, okay, if I'm going to continue no longer running in silence, we need to speak about this. And I started having different speaking engagements at colleges, universities, coaching clinics. I'm now a coach, and decided to put together the nonprofit Running in Silence to continue sharing that message, helping other athletes to know that they're not alone, giving some advice and help to other coaches who want to better understand these prevalent issues.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel and Christy. Keep up the good
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah, thank you.